It feels pretty unforgettable, doesn't it? The question you need to ask yourselves very seriously is, how soon will you forget what you just saw inside there? Maybe a week, maybe a day, maybe an hour. How long will this sit on your heart? The words I've heard people use to describe this memorial, the National Memorial for the Preborn, mind-blowing, inspiring, life-changing. What does it really mean to have your life actually changed by something? Because we are so good at feeling changed, moved in a moment, and going back to just being normal. And we say, wow, I'm never going to be the same. But we go home, we forget the burden of being on the front line, feeling that burden. We forget the conviction of watching women walk into a building, knowing the body count is stacking higher and higher while the church is generally sleeping and disinterested. We forget the conviction. We quickly return to normal. This is a site of a horrific genocide. Over 35,000 people were murdered on this site. You've walked on the ground where their bodies were torn to shreds. You walked inside there where there are about 2,500 plaques. The pain you saw on that wall, the words you read from mothers and fathers and siblings, that is the pain of one day of abortion in America. How soon will we forget that pain? There's a plaque that always strikes me hard when I come here. The first says, "To my first child, please forgive my selfishness." The second says, "To my second child, please forgive my selfishness." And the third, "To my third child, please forgive my selfishness." Then to my fourth child, please forgive my selfishness. And finally, to my fifth child, please forgive my selfishness. One family, 5 babies, decapitated, dismembered, disemboweled, discarded. One mother pleading for forgiveness. How soon will you forget her pain? How soon will you forget those 5 tiny image bearers of our Lord who were shredded to pieces in a nondescript building in a civilized city in our great nation? We're so good at feeling conviction and moving on. Look around you. This is our land, this is our time, this is our battle. It's our chance to do something. We can read the stories, we can be inspired by them, but we can also do something now. This rock, this large Ebenezer, was placed here when God used men and women in this city to stand up and say, enough is enough. They chased the abortionists from this land. They leveled part of the facility to make this a memorial and put this massive rock here so that people would not forget. We must not forget. There was another plaque, not so much unlike this, to other young people who died, a plaque in Munich, Germany, memorializing young people who didn't die because they were killed because they were inconvenient. They died because they fought. And they were the group called the White Rose. They were a group who saw what Hitler was doing, killing people, destroying his country, and said enough is enough. They came together, they formed a team of defenders, and they called their countrymen to action. In one of their great leaflets, they wrote, leaving their leaflets in public for people to see what Hitler was doing, they issued a charge saying, "We urge you as Christians, we urge you to stand up." Do you hesitate? Do you calculate? Do you procrastinate thinking someone else will do this? Someone else will defend you? Has God not given you the strength, the will to fight? We must fight evil where it's strongest. And we ask you today, you, as Christians, has God not given you the strength, the will to fight? Will you hesitate thinking, well, someone else can do that? What would it look like for me to do more? Do you calculate thinking, well, how could I fit this in? I have so many plans for my life. How could I do something else? What would that look like for me? Or do you procrastinate thinking someone else can do that? Someone else can give their time? If you hesitate, if you calculate, if you procrastinate, something I know is more names will go up on that wall inside because more babies will die under your watch. This is not about just doing 1 week of pro-life activity every year. If that's it, this is a waste of time. You know everything you need to know to rescue real babies, to help real parents carrying real burdens. The question is not, can you? The question is truly, will you? Will you do what is required? Will you take the action that is needed? You can literally change the number of names that have to go up on that wall. By God's grace, you can truly change how many little people will become little plaques on a wall like that, or worse yet, forgotten in the trash for no one to ever find. You can change that. What would it take for you to do something more? What do you want to do? Get a job, make some money, or spend time to rescue them? There are more people working full-time to kill babies than those working full-time to save them. If we do this once a year, once a month, it's good. It's not enough. We need people full-time investing their lives to stop that. You can do that. But you have to make the decision today. And I admit, it is scary to fight against the status quo. When I get fearful, I remember something else. And that is those names there, the people we did not save. There are millions of babies, thousands today, we will not save. And one day we're gonna meet them in eternity. And I am scared of meeting them, looking them in the eye and saying, I knew what it would take to save you. I knew how to rescue you. I knew what it could take, but I didn't. I was scared to tell my family. I was scared to change my career plans. I was scared to do something bold that would be unexpected, that would forever change my course. I knew, but I was too scared. This is your time, your choice, your land. You can fight, or you can get back on that bus and go to sleep. You know what you should do. The choice is yours, though. Will you be the man who looks at his face in the mirror, hears God's command to rescue those being led away to slaughter, hear that command, know how you can do that, and go to sleep? Or will you commit to the next thing? Will you take the next big step fighting our battle on our time, on our land? Because one day, there's gonna be a bigger rock. One day we're gonna have a larger rock that's going to mark the end of legal abortion in America. The question for you is, will you be there that day, or will you be sleeping? I want you to be there, but I can't make you be there. The choice is yours. What will you do?